It is back to school, and parents are navigating all of those seasonal expenses. So joining us this morning to share some practical tips, we have Derek Lewis and Kristen Sisson from Financial Plus Credit Union. We appreciate you being here. This is one of those times of year that we really need maybe some guidance with our money. While we discuss these tips, though, we also want to invite you at home to learn more about opening a student checking account. Just use that camera app on your phone to scan the QR code that you see there on your screen, and that'll get you connected. Now, Derek, we will start. What's the first step parents should take when planning for back-to-school expenses?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're kind of already on the cusp, right? And some might have started, but hopefully these might be some last-minute tips that can help parents. I think the first thing is just simply lay out a plan, right? Come up with a plan, list out the needs, and really make it clear what exactly is it that you need for back to school. This is a good time we encourage parents to get your kids involved, right? That wants versus needs things that we try to think about, maybe we don't do the best job at. But this is a fun time for them to be able to look over the list, look over the supplies, the clothing, all those items, and really determine what is it that we need, what is it that we want, prioritizing those needs first, obviously. And then, secondly, this is a great time to build or review your budget. That's a word that some of us don't often like to hear, but it's so important for people to know what's coming in, what's going out, what can you actually afford. Really get in there, make it clear so that you've got an exact idea of what you can afford when it comes to back to school shopping.
Yeah, I've heard it compared to being in a car. You're supposed to go from point A to point B in another state, but there's no roadmap. You do have to have a budget.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I like that. It's a roadmap. Some people think of a budget as like this restricting thing, telling me I can't spend my money. But really, if done properly, a budget gives you permission, right, to spend. It's just a matter of where is that money going and making sure that we're thinking about the different things that are needed. So.
Good. And I do want to mention, too, as you were talking about that, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, even if I'm back to school already, the holidays, too. This is great advice. And
absolutely.
We want to ask, Kristen, are there some common spending traps maybe that parents should watch out for during this time of year?
Oh, for sure. There's several of them. One being don't buy everything at one time. Kind of spread things out. If you have a savings account, try to put money aside to build up for that expense. I would say buy online versus going in the store. That kind of resists impulse buying. I know for myself, when I buy online, I have a plan. Like Derek said, I'm able to stick to that plan. Yeah. When you go into the store, you're more able to find things that are not on your list. So I would definitely do that.
Interesting. And Derek, if we're talking about spending some money and getting those supplies and clothing, are there some specific tips you have to save some money?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing when it comes to shopping for back to school or whatever the season, but especially with back to school, is first take inventory, right? Take stock of what you currently have. Start digging through the closets, maybe looking under the bed. Get the kids to shake their backpacks out from last year. I know I'm doing the same thing with my kiddos right now. You might be surprised with how much stuff you already have, right? Supplies that were left over, maybe things that never got used, clothing that might still be wearable and that they can fit in and they still like. So before you go out and start buying just all new things, take stock, number one. Number two, I would say encourage parents, if they can, to shop in bulk, especially for supplies, pencils and binders, Kleenexes, those sorts of things. You can save money oftentimes when you're buying in bulk rather than individual items. And if you feel like that's too much, split it up, right? Share the cost with a friend or a family member. Go in together, buy those bulk items. You can split the cost and really save some money there. And then I would also just encourage parents, don't be afraid to check out reused options. Oftentimes you can find great deals on gently used clothing items, even school supplies from thrift stores, resale apps, or even Facebook, marketplace, local groups like that. I know kids love their name brands. And that can be a good way to get those name brands, but save a little money while you're doing it.
Perfect. Well, and hopefully you might even see some sales coming up on some things after the start of school. So that's another way.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely shop, shop clearance, shop sales. Look for those back-to-school sales. Some have already happened, and then as we approach the holidays, like Kristen mentioned, you don't have to do it all at once. You can spread that out. And so maybe you're going to hit one of the sales later in the year as well to help get some of those supplies built up for the rest of the school year.
Good. Now, what about the bigger expenses like a laptop, sports gear? How do you make that happen without cracking your monthly budget?
So I would say look for short-term financing options. There's different companies out there, but us at Financial Plus Credit Union, we have a loan called Buy Now, Pay Later, where you can spread the expense over time. So you don't have to pay for it in one lump sum. You can do it 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, but that way you're not spending a large lump sum versus, you can divide it up over time.
And that helps. Now, are there any tools, maybe, resources that the credit union typically offers that might help also families this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you really want to be proactive, one thing that we encourage parents ahead of the season, so this may not help so much right now, but planning for the future is, consider opening additional savings accounts right within your bank account. You can label that back to school or Christmas or whatever that is, and start saving small increments as time goes on, so that when back to school or Christmas comes, you already have a nice little, kind of nest egg saved for that. We also have an exciting account. It's called a student checking account for students. So when your kid is, when your students are out there spending money, this gives them a checking account, which is going to be a convenient and safe and easily accessible way for them to access their money. One unique item about our student checking account, it's completely, there's no minimum balance requirements and no monthly fees, and it pays them $20 a month for the first year, every month, just for using that debit card to make 5 purchases. So if they're out buying gas or lunch or movie tickets, whatever it may be, 5 purchases a month and they get $20. So it helps them get used to spending, maybe, some little budgeting in there as well, advice that you can give them while using that safe card.
Who wouldn't love 20 bucks a month?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. We're paying you to do what you're already doing.
School.
There you go.
Any final tips for parents, really just to feel more confident and less overwhelmed, because finances are something that we don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. I would say have an action plan. If you could plan ahead, for sure. Also, don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Yeah,
like at our credit union, I'm a financial coach myself. You can come into one of our branches, you can sit down, talk with someone, actually develop a plan for you, a savings plan, a budget. Just having a plan, I feel like that would help ease some of your stress. And then you can use these tools, like you said, for Christmas as well.
Now, do you have to have a minimum account to do that? Do you help people from all different income levels?
Yes, we do. Yep, you just need $1 to open an account at our credit union.
I love that. All right. Well, we appreciate you, Derek and Kristen, for being here. Remember, you can find out more information, as always, at the hot link section at the top of WNEM.com.